It's finals week, testing week, the last week of school next week, and you're going to be hoping that your brain is performing really well next week. So I want to remind you of how to help your brain perform well next week. Your brain is a muscle. It's kind of a magical muscle, but it is a muscle. That means that you have to work it out. You have to exercise it. Sometimes we can think that somebody's brain is a whole lot cooler than our brain. Well, that might be kind of true, but it's really a cooler brain than ours because it's just been exercised more. Sometimes God has given other people's brains a little bit more power, maybe, but really when God gives us people like Einstein and Isaac Newton, Marie Curie, and all of the wonderful scientists, mathematicians, historians, writers, preachers, it's because they've learned how to exercise the muscle of their brain. They've been diligent. What do I mean? How do you exercise the muscle of your brain? Well, it's really similar to exercising muscles in other ways, mental muscles in other ways, real muscles in other ways. Take video games and doing your hair. To get really good at video games, you do them a lot. You sit in front of your computer and you do it over and over and over again. And it's admittedly a ton of fun. You figure out, if it's a racing game, how exactly to take that corner so that you don't crash into the wall, exactly when to speed up and to turn. If it's a shooting game, you figure out exactly how to shoot your target just right at the right time before you're out. You're practicing. If you've ever come into a video game that you've never done before, you try it out and immediately you're out of the game. You failed immediately. It's not just easy right away. You have to practice. If you do your hair, you figure out how to make your hair really beautiful and lovely by lots of practice, lots of dexterity, lots of finger movements and flips and twists and curves and loops of your whatever you're putting in your hair. And finally, after lots of weeks and months and years of practice, you're able to do it automatically, and you have a very lovely hairstyle. The same thing is true with your homework and your study. When you're looking for good grades for God's glory in your finals next week, you have to practice. You honestly have to have the same kind of focus as you do when you're looking at that video game, when you're doing your hair. You don't let yourself get distracted by your brother or sister or your mom and dad when you're doing video games. You probably find that quite annoying. Do you find it as annoying when you get distracted by your phone or somebody else when you're doing homework? You might actually welcome a distraction. So if that's the case, it might be telling you, hey, I'm not actually being honest with the way that I'm exercising this muscle like I do in other areas. And that keeps us honest to say, my brain, just like anything else, takes practice, lots and lots of practice. So I want to remind you heading into next week that God deals in really practical terms. Terms like organization of your time, sitting at a desk, not on a bed, keeping your eyes on the page, getting out practice problems that you've done before and that you're going to do again, checking your work, writing neatly, making sure you're holding your pencil correctly, reading the question 2 and 3 times to make sure you understand it and you've answered the question. Those are the kinds of muscles God is really after you exercising. It's okay to make mistakes, but it's not okay to make excuses about what your brain is capable of. He's giving you this wonderful, magical tool for you to use for His glory, and He'll help you develop it over time, over the years as you grow and mature, as long as you're diligent in the little things with it over time. Good luck next week. You guys are going to do great. You can do it. I'm proud of you, and God, as always, is with you.